These old touch lamps are outdated and they're not quite old enough to be sought after. I'm going to repair this one and I'm giving it a makeover that will make it look even older. Welcome to my crafting channel. I'm Alana from Upcycling NZ. Let's upcycle. This lamp has lost its cradle that holds the shade in place. It's still working, but you cannot use it as a touch lamp anymore. The touch function isn't working, so you can only plug this into the wall to turn it on. The top that unscrews to take the lampshade off is broken. It used to have an ornate sort of wing nut top to it, and that's snapped off. I'm not crazy about the gold on the top plate or the wire that holds the glass in. Just here at the top is where the cradle should be that holds the lampshade securely, but I like the base, so I'll be leaving the base as it is. Notice how the gold on the shade and the top don't match the base at all. I always thought that made them look a little bit tacky, these touch lamps. I'll need to figure out how to cover this little floral on the front of the glass. I had pulled this lamp apart before and gave it a really good clean. It's always a good idea to put all your fixtures and fittings into a cup so that you don't lose any of them. I'll remove all my pieces of glass and set them aside for now. I'll work on the wire lampshade first, and I'm going to paint it in an exterior acrylic black paint. I'll paint the top plate as well. I don't know what this is called, this bit. I wanted a really hard wearing paint for this job, and this is a house paint. It's not a jet black, it's more of a brown black, and I find that that colour works a lot better when you're going for a vintage look. I'll give these 2 coats of paint and the paint will dry quite black. I'm using a Rust-Oleum clear coat spray in a matte finish to prep the glass pieces. This will help anything I put on the surface of the glass adhere to it. I decided on this patterned serviette to cover my glass. I didn't want anything too thick because I don't want to block the light. The pattern and colour on this napkin will hide the little floral that's on the front of the glass as well. This is a 2-ply napkin, so I needed to separate the front from the back. I want to stagger the pattern as much as possible so that the panels of glass don't all look the same. I do want to make sure that the pattern is always the right way up. I'll decoupage my napkin on using a PVA wood glue. And I'm applying a nice generous coat all over the surface of the glass, making sure to get right up to the edges. The clear coat spray I put on is working wonders, and it's stopping the glue from migrating towards itself and creating gaps. I'm patting it down really gently, and then I'll cut around, leaving a bit of excess around each piece. I'll gently press out any bubbles, and I'm going to let it dry like this first rather than put a coat over top. If I tried to glue over the surface while the bottom was still wet, I'd rip my napkin. I'll repeat that with all of my pieces and allow them to dry completely. And I can already tell that the napkin is going to cover the floral on the front of the glass and conceal it well. Once they dried, I took a emery board or a nail file, and just by sanding in a downward motion against the edge of the glass, I can remove all of that excess paper from around my piece. And that's left a beautiful clean edge. This process is working so well. I think I'll try to find some more of these lamps at the thrift store to make some more of these. Now I can put a really generous layer of glue all over the top. This will dry clear. I'll poke the hole through and I'll glue around that area as well. And I made sure that I got all the edges of the glass so that it kind of grips onto the piece of glass once the glue's dry. These are looking really beautiful already. Now I can put the glass back into the shade again, making sure to get these little plastic lugs back in, and they act as a buffer between the nuts and the bolts. If you have one of these lamps and it's not working, I would keep the shade, and I'd even keep the base. They can make a great pedestal for other projects. Once you get the nuts back on this lampshade, you can flip it over and it'll stand on the nuts like their little feet, and you could use this as a bowl. This is really coming together now, and I absolutely love the lampshade. To fix the screw at the top, I really had to dig deep into my stash, and I managed to find this, which is a curtain rod end, and I found the top of a little perfume bottle, and that fit inside the curtain rod end, and then the screw fit inside that. I'll use some hot glue to attach them, and once I pushed that perfume bottle lid in, it was a really tight fit. The same with the screw, but I held on to the screw with some pliers so I didn't burn myself with that one. And I really had to force that in. That's not going anywhere now, and it's a nice tight fit. I'll sand the curtain rod end and scuff it up so that I can paint it black and it'll have something to key to. I'm pretty pleased with myself about this. I think this is going to look great on the top of this lamp. This will need 2 coats of paint. I also managed to find a replacement for the cradle to hold the lamp in place. It's actually just a metal sauce bottle top. I drilled a hole in it, painted it black, and it fits nicely into the groove on the inside of the lamp. Don't you love it when a project comes together for you? I got this black lace trim super cheap from a thrift store, and it's got this gorgeous purple beading. It's giving out nice dark and moody vibes when I pair it with the lampshade. Because it's going to be quite a long way from the light bulb, I'll use a hot glue gun to attach it. Because of the distance, it won't get so hot that it will melt the glue again. I'm just attaching it to the inside edge along the wire. This is looking even better because of the scalloped edge along the bottom there. I'll trim that off, making sure that the ends meet, and just glue the ends together. So I think I decided about halfway through this project that I will not be getting rid of this lamp. I'll be keeping this one. Now all that's left to do is to put the lamp back together and to show you what the final result was. Let me know what you think of this in the comments.